October 15, 2016. 11:47 p.m. Amsterdam. Russell Leonard's phone buzzes. The message from his boss Paul Green reads, "Where are you? Need confirmation now." But Leonard is 6 pints deep in a strip club, completely unaware that 200 meters away, Dutch police are watching his abandoned van through night vision scopes. Inside that van, £1.1 million worth of amphetamines. But here's what'll shock you. That van represents just 0.02% of the largest drug empire in British criminal history. At that exact moment, in a secure facility outside London, intelligence officers are watching Leonard's every move through satellite surveillance. They've been tracking this operation for 18 months. They know about the £7 billion flowing through Paul Green's network. They know about the vegetables hiding millions in drugs. They know about the mole inside Green's organization. What they don't know is that Leonard's drinking session is about to trigger the collapse of the entire empire. But this isn't the story you think you know about the big fella. Everyone's heard about Paul Green and his vegetable scam. But what the media never told you is how this operation made more money than Netflix, Twitter, and Spotify combined. How they infiltrated the Royal Mail. How they had CIA cryptocurrency connections. And how one enforcer's murder connects this case to Britain's most dangerous crime families. Most shocking of all, how close Green came to never being caught. Welcome back to Crime Scene Chronicles, where we don't just tell you what happened, we reveal the secrets that everyone else missed. If you're new here, hit subscribe now because what you're about to discover will change how you think about organized crime forever. This isn't just a drug bust story. This is corporate-level criminal enterprise that required 5 countries and 347 officers to bring down. And it all started unraveling because one man chose vodka over business. Here's what really happened the night a £7 billion empire came crashing down. Forget everything you think you know about drug dealers. Paul Green wasn't operating from street corners, he was running the Amazon of international drug trafficking. Picture this. A criminal enterprise generating £7 billion annually. That's more revenue than TripAdvisor, Domino's Pizza, or GameStop. This wasn't a gang, it was a Fortune 500 company that happened to be completely illegal. The corporate structure would make legitimate businesses jealous. CEO, Paul Green, the big fella. CFO, Stephen Martin, Financial Operations. Head of Distribution, Mohammed Oveis, UK Networks. International Operations, Russell Leonard, Netherlands Coordination. European Partners, Johannes Vesters and Barbara Rinbout, Dutch Logistics. But here's what'll blow your mind, the infrastructure investment. Green didn't rent warehouses, he created a parallel economy. Industrial facilities across Sheffield, Preston, Leeds, Warrington, and Bolton. Front companies with legitimate business registrations, tax numbers, and insurance policies. Employee payroll systems where workers didn't know they were part of a criminal organization. The supply chain genius was incredible. Backup suppliers, alternate routes, contingency plans that even Amazon would envy. When one pathway got compromised, they'd switch to another within 48 hours without missing a delivery. While other criminals used burner phones, Green's network operated on military-grade encrypted communications with real-time shipment tracking, digital payment systems, and customer service protocols for criminal clients. Before we dive deeper, smash that like button if you're amazed by this corporate-level criminal operation. While Paul Green thought he was invisible, something extraordinary was happening in a secure facility outside Paris. Operation Archimedes, French cryptographers, British intelligence, Dutch cybercrime specialists, and American NSA analysts working together to crack the uncrackable. EncroChat was the criminal internet. 60,000 users across Europe, all believing their communications were completely secure. Paul Green's handle, Duck Farmer. Stephen Martin, Steelworker. Russell Leonard, Red Phone. For 3 years, authorities tried to penetrate EncroChat's servers. The breakthrough came from a single software update containing a hidden backdoor. Suddenly, investigators had 32 million messages spanning 2 years of criminal activity. Through Duck Farmer messages, they could see everything: deal negotiations, problem solving, even personal family conversations. Green was documenting his own criminal empire without realizing it. But here's the incredible part. Green wasn't just being watched by Dutch police. 5 countries were coordinating surveillance: Britain, Netherlands, France, Germany, and Belgium. International cooperation on a counter-terrorism scale. Law enforcement faced a dilemma: arrest Green immediately or wait for the entire network. They chose to wait. And watch. And record everything. While authorities built their case, Green's operation reached peak efficiency. The vegetable smuggling wasn't just clever, it was scientifically revolutionary. Green's team conducted actual research into which vegetables best masked drug odors. They tested combinations, analyzed scent molecules, and developed criminal perfume designed to fool sniffer dogs. The winning formula: aged garlic mixed with industrial ginger paste, layered with overripe onions. The smell was so overwhelming that customs officers couldn't inspect shipments for more than minutes. 40 to 50 tons of vegetables per week. Enough onions to supply every McDonald's in London for a month. The operation was so large it affected Dutch market prices. Here's Green's true genius: they couldn't sell 40 tons weekly without suspicion. So they created a circular system. Vegetables went Netherlands to UK, back to Netherlands, then UK again. Sometimes the same onions made this journey 3 or 4 times, providing cover for multiple drug shipments. Investigators later calculated Green's operation wasted over 2,000 tons of perfectly good vegetables. His network had become one of the UK's largest sources of food waste. If you're finding these details fascinating, make sure you're subscribed. We're the only channel bringing you these incredible behind-the-scenes revelations. Here's the part never fully revealed, the most dangerous secret of all. By late 2017, law enforcement knew too much. They knew about shipments before they happened. Route changes before Green's team did. Problems with suppliers before Green himself found out. There was a mole inside the organization. Operating as an informant inside a £7 billion criminal network isn't just dangerous, it's potentially suicidal. These weren't small-time dealers. These were people connected to international networks where betrayal equals bullets. The informant provided real-time updates on shipment schedules and routes, financial transactions and money laundering, meetings between Green and criminal clients, internal disputes and security concerns, plans for territorial expansion. To this day, the mole's identity remains classified. Court documents refer to them only as Source Alpha 7. They testified via video link with voice distortion from an undisclosed location. What we know: this person has been relocated with a new identity and will likely never return to their previous life. The price of bringing down Green's empire was erasing their own existence. Think about this: while feeding information to police, they necessarily participated in criminal activities to maintain cover. How many drug shipments did they help facilitate for the bigger takedown? According to sealed reports, there were at least 3 occasions when Green's team became suspicious. The informant came within hours of exposure, which would have meant certain death and investigation collapse. While everyone focused on Dutch vegetables, Green achieved something far more disturbing: infiltrating the UK postal system. Green's organization had corrupted postal workers in at least 12 sorting facilities across England. Not low-level employees, supervisory positions who could redirect packages and avoid security screenings. Once drugs arrived via vegetable shipments, they were repackaged and distributed through Royal Mail. Thousands of packages containing heroin, cocaine, and amphetamines were delivered using the same service that brings birthday cards and Amazon orders. The scale was staggering. Manchester Mail Centre, 3 corrupted employees. Birmingham Mail Centre, 2 corrupted employees. London South East, 4 corrupted employees. Liverpool Mail Centre, 2 corrupted employees. Corrupted workers earned £2,000 monthly in cash, plus bonuses for high-value shipments. For someone earning £22,000 annually legitimately, this was irresistible. Green's team had obtained legitimate Royal Mail packaging, tracking numbers, and internal routing system access. Their packages looked genuine because, except for content, they were genuine. Most disturbing, some postal workers unknowingly handled drug shipments. Green created false addresses and recipient details that looked completely legitimate, meaning honest employees unwittingly participated in drug distribution. Share this video with anyone who's wondered how criminal organizations really operate. This institutional infiltration is happening right now in systems we trust daily. Amsterdam, October 15, 2016. 9:30 p.m. Russell Leonard and his accomplice had just collected cargo representing a tiny fraction of Green's empire, but about to become the thread unraveling everything. The van contained 57 kilograms of pure amphetamines worth £1.1 million street value. In context of Green's £7 billion operation, this was pocket change, less than 0.02% of annual turnover. It was about to become the most expensive night out in criminal history. The plan was simple: drive to ferry terminal, cross to UK, deliver drugs, collect payment. A routine operation they'd done dozens of times. But Amsterdam's nightlife was calling. Security footage reveals the moment everything went wrong. Leonard and his partner parked the van in Amstelveen and walked toward the city centre. They weren't planning a quick drink, they were planning a night out. Dutch police watched everything unfold real-time. They faced an impossible choice: arrest immediately and secure drugs, or let them continue and risk losing both suspects and evidence. They decided to wait. What followed was a 7-hour pub crawl through Amsterdam's most notorious entertainment district. Leonard and his accomplice hit 11 different bars and clubs, drinking heavily and drawing attention. Meanwhile, what represented a fraction of Green's empire sat unguarded less than 10 kilometers away. Back in the UK, Paul Green was panicking. EncroChat messages show his growing desperation as Leonard stopped responding. 11:47 p.m. Where are you? Need confirmation of delivery schedule. 1:23 a.m. Respond immediately. Clients are asking questions. 3:15 a.m. If you've lost that cargo, there will be consequences. 4:42 a.m. If the van's gone or been grabbed by police, then there'll be murders. By 4 a.m., Green's panic triggered alerts across his entire network. Criminal organizations in Manchester, Liverpool, and London were asking questions about the delayed shipment. Leonard's drinking session rippled through the UK criminal underworld. At 6:30 a.m., Leonard and his accomplice finally returned to the van. Security footage shows them stumbling, clearly hungover, completely unaware they were being watched. They got in, started the engine, and drove exactly 47 meters before being surrounded by Dutch police. Body camera footage captured the arrest. Leonard's first words: "Oh, this is bad. This is really bad." He was right. It was the beginning of the end. Inside the van, police found not just drugs, but detailed customer lists, transportation schedules for future shipments, communication devices linking directly to Green's network, and financial records revealing the operation's true scale. Drop a comment. Do you think Leonard's drinking was bad luck, or was he becoming reckless because the operation had been successful too long? May 5, 2018. Rainhill, Merseyside. 7 a.m. John Kinsella, a 53-year-old enforcer, was walking his dogs with his pregnant partner when a masked gunman approached and shot him dead in broad daylight. This wasn't random violence. This was a professional hit. And it connects directly to Paul Green's network. John Kinsella wasn't just any criminal, he was one of Green's most important customers. Intelligence reports show Kinsella's organization purchased drugs worth over £200,000 monthly from Green's network. In perspective of Green's £7 billion operation, Kinsella represented just one of hundreds of similar clients across the UK and Europe. Kinsella's murder revealed something terrifying. Green's client list read like a who's who of the UK's most dangerous criminals. Merseyside organised crime families. Manchester drug distribution networks. London money laundering operations. Scottish criminal organisations. Irish Republican Army splinter groups. When Kinsella was murdered, shockwaves went through Green's entire network. Criminals purchasing through Green suddenly found themselves connected to a high-profile murder investigation. Police investigating Kinsella's murder discovered communications between him and Green's network, providing crucial evidence linking Green not just to trafficking, but to organizations involved in murder, money laundering, and international terrorism. Kinsella's murder revealed Green's operation wasn't just about drugs, it was funding criminal activities across the UK and Europe. Drug profits purchased weapons, corrupted officials, and financed other criminal enterprises. Even today, Kinsella's murder remains connected to ongoing investigations. The gunman was never identified, and intelligence suggests his killing was part of a larger conspiracy extending far beyond Green's network. This is why Crime Scene Chronicles goes deeper. We don't just tell you about the main crime, we show you how it connects to the bigger picture of organized criminal activity. July 2, 2020. 5 a.m. Coordinated raids across 5 countries. Operation Desert Light, the largest coordinated criminal takedown in European history, was beginning. 347 law enforcement officers. 73 simultaneous raids. 5 countries operating under single command structure with real-time coordination via encrypted military communications. When authorities revealed they'd cracked EncroChat, shockwaves went through the criminal underworld. Over 60,000 criminals across Europe suddenly realized every message they'd sent for 3 years had been read by law enforcement. Paul Green's last EncroChat message, sent at 4:47 a.m., "Something's wrong. Too quiet." At 5:23 a.m., his front door was kicked in by armed police. Body camera footage shows Green arrested in pajamas, completely shocked. His first words, "What took you so long?" Even in arrest, Green's arrogance was apparent. He genuinely believed he'd been operating beyond law enforcement reach. The raids recovered £4.2 million cash, 847 encrypted communication devices, detailed financial records of the entire operation, evidence of corruption involving 23 public officials, documentation of criminal activities spanning 7 years. Green's arrest triggered cascade investigations across Europe. His client list and supplier network provided intelligence on hundreds of other criminal organizations. This case marked a turning point in fighting organized crime. Traditional surveillance and informants were replaced by digital forensics and international cyber cooperation. Even today, 4 years after Green's arrest, investigators are still uncovering networks connected to his operation. The digital evidence continues generating new cases and arrests. Manchester Crown Court, December 2024. 18 defendants. 847 pieces of evidence. A case 4 years in the making. The prosecution's opening was devastating. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're about to hear isn't just drug trafficking. It's how organized crime evolved into multinational corporate enterprise, complete with CEO, board of directors, and annual shareholders meetings. Green's lawyers argued he was merely a logistics coordinator, unaware of what he was transporting. This collapsed when prosecutors played recordings of Green explicitly discussing drug purity, street prices, and distribution territories. The evidence was overwhelming. 12,000 EncroChat messages. Financial records showing £7 billion in transactions. Surveillance footage from 6 countries. Testimony from 34 witnesses. Digital forensics from over 200 devices. When guilty verdicts were read, the courtroom was silent. Green showed no emotion as he was convicted on all charges. Judge Paul Lawton's sentencing was brutal. You operated with legitimate business efficiency and criminal organization ruthlessness. The harm you caused extends far beyond imported drugs. You distributed addiction, misery, social degradation, and death. The sentences: Paul Green, 32 years. Stephen Martin, 28 years. Mohammed Ovais, 27 years. Russell Leonard, 24 years. Dutch associates, 18 to 20 years each. Under proceeds of crime legislation, they were ordered to pay back £47 million, every traceable penny of criminal profit. Hit subscribe now. Our next episode reveals what happened to the remaining billions never recovered, and how law enforcement tracks criminal cryptocurrency in real time. One night of drinking in Amsterdam destroyed a £7 billion criminal empire. Russell Leonard's bar-hopping decision cost more than most countries spend on entire military budgets. This case changed everything about understanding modern organized crime. Criminal organizations now operate like multinational corporations with professional management, technological infrastructure, and international supply chains. The digital age created unprecedented surveillance opportunities, but also security challenges for law enforcement. International cooperation is essential. No single country can fight modern organized crime alone. Even the most sophisticated criminals make human mistakes, and those mistakes can bring down billion-pound operations. Green's network continues impacting investigations today, 147 additional arrests across Europe, discovery of 23 other major criminal networks, new legislation on encrypted communications, and revolutionary changes in international law enforcement cooperation. But questions remain. Where is the remaining £4.3 billion in criminal profits? How many other networks operate at this scale? What new technologies are criminals using to stay ahead? Judge Lawton was right. Green's associates weren't just moving drugs, they were distributing addiction, misery, social degradation, and death. The true victims weren't just the imprisoned criminals, but thousands whose lives were destroyed by imported drugs. This is why Crime Scene Chronicles exists. While other channels give basic facts, we spend months investigating the real story, interviewing law enforcement, reviewing court documents, uncovering details no one else reports. Subscribe to Crime Scene Chronicles right now. We're the only channel bringing you these incredible, deeply researched investigations. Turn on notifications because next week we're revealing how cryptocurrency funds international terrorism. Before you go, comment and tell me, was Russell Leonard just unlucky, or was Green's operation bound to fail eventually? Like this video if it opened your eyes to how modern organized crime works. Share it with anyone who thinks they understand criminal networks. This story will change their perspective forever. This has been Crime Scene Chronicles. We will see you next week for another deep dive into the cases that changed everything.